The power law for logarithms is really just an extension of the multiplication and addition law. Now we've learnt that already, let's just remind ourselves what it was. It says if you take the log with any base of some number, let's call that number xy, then if you treat x and y as two of the factors of that number, then you can tease it apart and basically add the log of each of the factors separately. Okay, so we've already learnt this one. Now, what we're saying now is that if we've got a logarithm that's got an index expression in it, then this n can just float down the front and land out the front of the log. And I've written here, indices can be brought out the front of the log. That's what this law really means. So I've got a dot there. The dot means times, and I've really just put it, it's not essential, so it doesn't look like an awkward word, log. It's n times the rest of the log. Now, the proof for this is super simple. If we take an expression like this, now instead of putting n there, I've given it a 3. I could have picked any number I liked, but I just did 3 so that I know how many times to write it out. Because x cubed has some simple factors. It's x times x times x. So when I use this law on that x cubed, I can tease it apart and say I've got this plus this plus this. Now, I'm going to have 3 of them because I have a 3 here. So it's very easy to say these are like terms and I can add them up and say I've got 3 lots of all of that. Okay? Now, if that was a 5, obviously I would have had 5 of them here and there would be a 5 there. And so you can easily see that this works no matter what the index number is, as you'll have that many copies of the logarithm. Okay, so we're going to use that to expand a few of these logs, or just change the form of them really. We're simplifying. Now here, the 5 can pretty much just float down the front and end up out the front, and then we just rewrite the log like this. I'm finished. This one has a little bit of a trick to it. You need to be careful of what we're taking the log of. We're actually taking the log of this whole 100x squared. It's not 100x squared, it's 100x squared. So you need to be a little bit careful. First, you'd want to use this law to break it up and say that's log base 10 of 100 plus log base 10 of x squared. Now with this part, the 2 can come down the front. And this part we can spot the answer. It's saying 10 to the power of something is 100, and you'll think, oh, 10 squared is 100. So this part is nice and simple, it's a 2. And this part, we can bring the 2 down the front and say we've got plus 2 lots of log base 10 of x. And that's how we simplify logs like this. Just be really careful that you don't bring the 2 straight down the front, because if you do, you'll be not taking into account that it's only the x here that's been squared, not the 100.